Okay, guys, so let's get quick already into it. So basically, we're talking about how the web works, basically, and we're talking about the foundation of HTML. We're talking about the web front end and also HTML. So how does the web works? You're gonna be first thing we're gonna be touching, and we're gonna also be talking about Git and GitHub. We're going to be building just a single page HTML portfolio page, just to see how we're gonna work. I'm going to be committing to Git. We're gonna be working on GitHub already, so let's just move into it. So typically, how does the web work? So for instance, when you pick up your phone, you send what a request and what you get a response. So when you type a URL into the browser, that means you're starting a request, you're requesting for something. Or you go to your web, you search a picture for a cat, then you get a response for the picture for a cat. So how does it work? The DNS actually finds the server, the domain, and it translates it to an IP address, because the web basically actually work by DNS. DNS is actually domain name server. That's the facebook.com, instagram.com, all those .com. So and the server are going to respond with what? They send you what? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So if you basically go to the web page now, you type picture of a cat, then it takes you to a website that has a picture of a cat. That is the response. And it's going to take you to a website, and the website is built with what? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then the browser will render the page for you, and it's going to show you the interface of the picture of the cat you're looking for. So that's basically how the web works. That's how the internet works. You send a request, you get a response, and a lot of things going on underneath the server. So front end is what the browser finally renders. It is actually the structure, the design, and the interface that user experience. It's basically our experience. That's the front end. That what we see. That what we basically see. For instance, now this what browser is showing you the picture of the cat and everything. This is actually what you're doing. Is you communicating actually with the internet. So we're gonna move to the next one already. Now, what are the structure of the web page? What are the structure of the web page? What makes up the web page? What makes up the web page is actually the HTML. HTML is like the skeleton of the web page. It's like just like you're building a house and you have a land, you already built the structure, but yet you haven't done any design on it. And when it comes to styling is the interior designing of the house. You're painting the house. That's styling. That what CSS does. It controls the layout, it gives color, the typography, the spacing, the responsiveness. Is it going to be mobile responsive? Is it going to be mobile first? Are we working for tab only and all of that? And we're going to talk about JavaScript. JavaScript is basically the things that happen in the house. When the water start running, you're having your tap inside. You're having your IoT. That's basically JavaScript inside the house. So JavaScript is actually the dynamic response. You add an interaction. For instance, now you're filling a form, and the form is giving you what's it called? Like you're having some kind of feedback from the form you're filling. That's basically JavaScript. JavaScript is going to tell you that showing you where on the form and all of that. That's basically JavaScript add interaction buttons. You click a button, all those behavior. You click a button, you're having event listeners, and all of that is basically JavaScript. So let's move to the next one. I'm going to be very fast because we're going to be doing more practical. I don't want to spend so much time talking. So think of HTML as the element of the web page. I've said that already, and it tells the browser each piece and what the content of the browser actually means. So it organizes images, and it talks about text, tables, form, and media. It tells the media has to do with video and audio. Then CSS, what appearance, you give colors to it, you beautifying it, you structuring it, you styling it, you need all a lot of stuff to it. That's what CSS does. What of JavaScript? It controls the behavior. It controls the behavior. You click a button to download something, you get in the download. That's basically what JavaScript does. It works dynamically. Dynamic. It's a dynamic way to interact with the web page. And the next is we having the core. Let me explain this. So this is actually what the JavaScript looks like. And the HTML file, sorry, this is what your HTML file looks like. You're having your what the doc type HTML. Now the doc type here is talking about document type. Document type. So I'm telling you about that the document type what is what HTML. Then now after that we now have the HTML itself. Then we have the header. You have the head. The head actually has some metadata. This one over here just have the title, but the head actually contains some metadata too. Metadata, and it's for description and also for font sizes. Also, you can put that in your metadata, and metadata actually is also used for SEOs. For those who understand digital marketing, you put subscription into metadata, but Next.js has actually worked better for metadata. So we're going to get into Next.js very soon, but it's going to be a far thing to do that now. Let's move next one. Next one, we're going to talk about tags. We have different tags. Right now I'm explaining. I'm going to jump into it very soon, but let me just do a little bit of explaining basically. So we have doc type, we have document, we have the tag we have in. We have in the doc type. The doc type is like what you call telling the browser this is an HTML file. Then the HTML is telling the browser that it's an HTML, the head, and you have all of the body. This creates the basic page of what of the website. Let's jump into. I won't be using VS Code today. I just want to use something very simple. So let's just do this. Let me just open my file. Okay. Okay, let's use Vim. I'll do. Let's do Vim in.html. So it's that. So this is what you're going to be telling the browser. The first thing I told you called doc type. So you're having doc type. You'll see doc type. Now the doc type I just type now is telling the browser that this is a document, and this document is what is HTML, just like what we have here. Can you see doc type? Doc type. So the doc type basically telling the browser that this is an HTML file. This is an HTML file. Doc type HTML. So telling the browser this is an HTML file, and you are about to render an HTML file. So once you do this, I want everyone just to use your browser already. So you have in this first. There should be you should have. Then you have. And also you have this again. This is your first structure. Then HTML, you have your what? You have your head. Can you see how we're walking slowly? You're walking slowly. Can you see what we're having? So this is what, and don't forget, you always close your tags. Always close your tags. Always close your tags. You close the head. This is closing tag. You have a closing tag. Because someone tell me I forgot to put the closing tag here. You have a closing tag. You have two tags in HTML. You have open tags and closing tags, but not every tags has a closing tags. Not every tag has a closing tag. So we'll get there. So move after your head. You have what next? You have your body. You have your body. You don't want to move more than 10 minutes. You have your body. So now the body is what is going to be holding everything. This body that will be holding every of your web page, every content. The content of your web page will be held by the body. And don't forget, your head is what holding what your metadata, holding your title, holding your styles. You like, for instance, if I want to call my styles, I'm gonna put it in my head. But it's not the same with JavaScript. So JavaScript is meant to be the one to be at the bottom. It's going to load last, but it's going to get there very soon. So the next thing we're going to be working on, we're going to be talking about tags. We've talked about tags. You have a text tag. You have a from H1 to H6. You have your P. You have your strong. You have your EM. It means emphasis. I'll be dropping a link to some articles. You're going to be reading them, and then you also have media. The media, I told you already, it has to do with your video, your audio, and your images. And you also have your list. List is like you have ordered list and unordered list. UL is on ordered list. That's when you're using bullet points to list. Ordered list is like when you're trying to 1, 2, 3, Roman figure 1, 2, 3, yes. Then LI is the list. So you're gonna be working on this already. Then you also have your links. So before we continue, let me just do this H1 to H6. So I'll move here as fast as possible. So you do H1, we'll close it again. H1. So let me see. My web page. And the next one, you have your H2. I don't want the video to be too long, so I don't want to exceed 10 minutes. We'll be jumping right into it already. Then your H2. So